Good evening. Welcome to Metaphysical Today. I'm Aeson, and of course, we're talking with the premier British psychic, Hazel Firefly. How are you, honey, other than hot?
I'm melting. Apart from that, I'm fine.
I swear these past 2 summers have been horrid on you.
Thing is, we've had torrential thunderstorms overnight.
Uh-huh. And they do nothing but make it hotter.
Yeah, and it's not just hot, it's really muggy
Uh-huh, which is
and
worse.
nasty. And
Uh-huh. Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Hi, Brenda.
Hello, Brenda. How are you, darling?
How was your
Alright.
weekend been, or should I say week?
Week and weekend, because it has been both the same and kind of ran together. Insane on a heat wave, crazy, very busy, in all three careers. Because this weekend was the Energy Overview and Psychic Saturday for the psychic business and podcasting business. And then one of my DJs lives in Hawaii and had to go and I'm trying to figure out how to say this not the way he said it to me because I can't say it the way he said it to me. Protect his new home that he's building because all the building supplies were delivered to the home. I mean, it's a working holiday here because it's Labor Day weekend, so all the builders and construction people were off, and they just had hurricanes in Hawaii. So building supplies are high premium for stealing. So he couldn't do his shows from his new property. So I had to cover those. And then, of course, the networks. I love you guys. We had a great Psychic Saturday. I was booked and hooked all over. We may expand that to a few other networks that I can control my pricing on.
Yeah.
I just got to figure out how to. Some of them I don't have email access to, so I'm not sure how I could do that. I'm going to have to talk to someone.
I find, a lot of clients prefer email and chat because then they can go back and reread them.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like I never have a problem with Michael if one of my private clients book a Zoom and ask me to record it.
Yeah.
Like I can send them the file. But good gravy. Like I opened it up on the networks and we were hopping. You saw the results because we're in a group and I'm like sharing my results every new thing I insert since we've been told, you take care of your own damn selves. I share my results so that people can see what this is how you do it. This is what you do with it. And this is what the result is for me. What about you? And, because I would love to get that whole team, the Sanctuary team, to start pulling Psychic Saturday. Because I think that would take notice on the networks.
Yeah. Definitely.
But no, so that was busy and awesome. And then we're trying to get set up for September. I really think sometimes I need to start at the 20th of the month and getting ready for the next month.
Yeah.
So how was your work week?
It was fairly busy. It kept me going.
Mm-hmm.
Because this month is a bit of a wobbly month for me. So
right.
I have a lot of down days this month.
Okay.
And it's like when you're emotionally down, you can't work.
Right. You have to journal and meditate and put on your makeup. And all right, we're talking about life cycles this show, but I'm going to talk about some game plan shit I do. I have a lot of down days. October sucks for me. Personally, it sucks for me. Business-wise, it's insane. And I think that's a lot of times how that goes.
Yeah.
So you will notice in October, I am primped and crimped to the hilt. Like I'll put on my makeup a little bit heavier, do more than just my eyes and lips. That's a lot of time when I am escaping. Meaning you will see me hiking and possibly walking more if the weather allows. Those are things that I use to deal with shifts in life.
Yeah. It's really weird because it's my mum's birthday on the 19th. And then on the 26th, it's my nan's anniversary.
Aww.
So it's like a week after each other, and they were mother and daughter.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's like bang, straight at me, and I struggle.
Right. Right. Well, October, October is one of those months that's like totally a dark month. Like each week there's either a death. Like my family like to leave in October.
Yeah.
So it isn't like remembering their birthday. It's like, oh yeah, we had the funeral today. Oh yeah, we had this today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
so,
just it's when you're a timekeeper, like I am.
Yeah.
People are like, well, what's wrong? And I'm like, well, Dad passed away the 16th of October 16 years ago. And they're like, well, you shouldn't have been done with that. And it's like, no, that was a pivotal change in my world.
I have it all written down. I have it all written down. It's 22 years for my mum. 22 years sounds a long time. It is a long time. But if you think of what they've missed out on since they've passed away, like my mum have missed out on the boys growing up. She's missed out on seeing the achievements that I've made. She's now missing out on Parker. And it's probably the same with yourself. People say, oh, well, it's only your mum. Until you've been in that position where you lose a family member like that, a parent, nobody can judge what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to do it.
Right. And, okay. Example, Psychic Lifestyle, the magazine I write for, which is out, guys. Search it. I may put the link in the description for you to get it. It came out. And it's like that list of people you call.
Yeah.
When like your magazine article comes out, you get top psychic on a network, you get, business, pagan of the year or business of the year or this, that, or another. Over the years, that list just starts growing smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot sometimes for people to realize it. Probably around the time you hit 40, it's like, who's that one person you call?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Brenda brings up, and we've got to remember to do this, depending on the days, 20 years for Dad, 20 plus years for Dad. Some days it seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
Other days it's forever. Same for Mom. And then, at that point, it's when and, the pagan community, we call them elders. These are people that have been in the craft older than dirt. And it's like, holy fuck, I'm now the elder. I'm now the oldest one. I'm now the most experienced one. And it's like, what, or, the psychic business. There are some that are old. Like there is a local psychic. She is in her 90s. And she is still doing public readings. She's retired like 3 times and came back like Cher.
Yeah. And it's strange how, I'm not going to use the word loneliness. But then, I don't know if people realize you can be lonely and have 1 million people around you.
Right. Exactly.
And that's the thing, because you've lost the people who you were closest to, and the people who you love, that's when you become lonely. Even though you've got your kids, you've got your close friends.
Right.
You still feel that emptiness as well.
Right. And it's because they don't have the same battle scars. They don't have the same shared stuff. Yeah, Brenda, when you realize that the crone is now you, definitely. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I also don't think that we in today's society celebrate these cycles of life. If we go back 100 years, when a girl turned 13 to 16, depending on the culture, there was a major party.
Yeah.
And we're not talking wedding. We're talking coming out, stepping into womanhood, whatever the title of it is, the consetta. I did not say that right, and I'm sorry. Those were major celebrations.
Do you still have the Sweet 16 parties with your area? I know they're a big
Very
thing in
rarely.
They're massive in America, ain't they?
No.
They're not now.
No.
See, they went through the phase of being big things over here, and then it all just fizzled out.
Yeah, like people went, yeah, forget about it. Sweet 16 or 16 in general. Well, most times they're not sweet. We all know how teenagers are.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
can't you drive cars over with you when you're 16?
They've added conditions to that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I do, like the steps. Okay. When I turned 16 is when I got my normal driver's license. I was driving at like 13, 14, but this is West Virginia. We can pull shit. But when we turned 16, we got you're supposed to get your driver's license. At 15, at this time, you're supposed to get your learner's permit. And at 16, you can take the keys to your car that you are insured on.
Yeah.
You don't technically have to own it. There was a big debate in this house about whether you could own the car at 16. And you could take off and drive anywhere, do anything. Now it's like, if you're 16, you can only drive from these hours to these hours and yada, yada, yada. They've just now repealed the law that allowed 14-year-olds to get a job.
Over here, they can work from the age of 14, but they're only allowed to work so many hours and in certain areas of work then because of health and safety. Right. Over here, you can apply for your provisional license at 17.
Uh-huh.
Not any earlier. Then you got to have, for your driving test over here, you got to pass a written test.
Mm-hmm.
And then your driving test.
Right. Same here. And then everything else is based on age. Now, granted, I was buying cigarettes at 14 because there was a vending machine, but now you have to be 21 to smoke, 21 to drink, but you're allowed to vote at 18.
Yeah.
You're allowed to go into the army at 18.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you can die, you should be able to drink. My opinion. And you guys, it's 16 to drink with parents?
16 to drink with parents.
Uh-huh.
But that is only in your home.
Right.
You can't drink in a public house or a hotel until you're 18.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke, you can, over here they smoke at 11, but you're not officially allowed to buy fags until you're, I think that's 16. But, and this is massive, our supermarkets, I think you got them like Waitrose and things like that. Are like your big supermarkets, are they?
Yeah, like Kroger's and...
Yeah. You've got to be 24 to buy alcohol and cigarettes from them.
Interesting.
Because that's their shop policies.
Right. And, and that's different than the regulations than the government going, oh, you're not old enough. And it's like, stop this shit. Okay. All right. But anyway, so 21... 18 to 24, you're supposed to be in college here. And then there should be a celebration of completing college.
Yeah.
I remember completing my master's degree, looking at Dad and says, well, I'm finally done. And he goes, great, let's go out to eat.
Yeah.
Boom. I was done with my master's degree. We went out to, I think, Ryan's, because that's where he ate at. And went on with the day. But I'm like, there should have been a celebration.
Yeah. Over here with birthdays, the 18th is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a thing of coming up to an adult.
Right.
21 is also a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Because they call that the last phase of adulthood.
I think that's the first phase of adulthood. That's the last phase of childhood.
it's like that's the phase you're expected to buy your own house and to do those adult type of things.
Right.
But then, like, we celebrate 50, 60, but that's because we want to, because we see them as like an era birthday.
Right. Well, not only that, but let's get real. If you reach 50, you're lucky.
Yeah.
You're supremely lucky. You know, in the gay culture, we're getting people that are reaching 50 and 60 and 70. And I'll be honest, they don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, do we call up the retirement home and move in, or do we just keep going? And that's because, you know, we don't have that programming. 36. Okay, the average age of people living past 36 is just within the past 200 years.
Yeah.
If you hit 40, you would insane.
I'm going to Google that one.
Yeah.
Because that's really interesting. Do you want a shock?
Sure.
The average age of death is 81.8. And for females, it's 85.5. You would never think that, would you?
Right.
That's like unheard of.
You know, so, you know, 85, you've got 85 years to celebrate. So if you did like 21, 41, 21, you know, 40, 60, and then 80, those are huge moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and what's hard to realize is everyone's cycle is different.
Yeah.
Like supposedly the human goes through a 7-year cycle and an 11-year cycle. It's different. It's, you know, and we could look at astrology and like the Saturn return that I'm going to double check, because I think it is like 30, you know, and then 46. Age ranges. There we go. So between 27 and 31, 56 and 60, and 84 and 90 is your normal Saturn returns. If you think about it, between 27 and 31, that's when you start seeing people taking their career seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when most people used to take major life changes in their career. You know, and then on the third one, the 56 to 60 is that second, you know, the third Saturn return, and that's usually the, you know, final return. That's when people supposedly reach old age. And then the third one, which occurs roughly around 84 to 90, that's when it's like, okay, what do I got left to do?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go skydiving. Like, if you meet an 84-year-old, they're going to go be like out to bat because they don't care a damn.
No, they've got nothing to be worried about.
Right.
They just want to enjoy what they've got left.
And I'm sorry, I know I have known many 84, 85, 87-year-olds that are like balls to the wall. They don't like your shirt, they're going to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how it should be. Because they are the ones we have learned valuable life lessons from.
Right. Well, you know, and then it's looking at like if someone is 84 today, Let's do in the U.S. because it'll be easier. In 84 years, this was published. What major events happened? Oh, let's rephrase that. I know they've gone through the Cuban Missile Crisis. They've gone through more presidents than they care to count.
If you think
housing change.
If you think about it, at the age of 84, 85, they've gone through COVID, but they would have lived that years and years and years ago with all the diseases that were about.
Well, not only that, but like at 84, they would have. Let's see. They would have seen the Depression. They would have seen the baby boomer age. They would have came up in baby boomers. And they would have been lived through all the ups and downs in the economy. That's why they're like, I don't give a damn.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you think about it, all that we know have come from our parents and our grandparents.
Right.
So they are the knowledge to the younger generations.
But I don't feel like they get paid attention to as much.
No, they don't. Okay. They don't.
And it's so different from one person to another. So, I don't know. So, how do you deal with slight changes? Because you've gone through changes. You went from being from being a mother of children to being a mother of adults. From being.
Do you know, some people will say this is really strange. I embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
I embrace it because they're things I've achieved myself.
Right.
Perhaps it's because I was a single mum from when the boys were small.
Right.
But those boys, I'm proud of their achievements. I'm proud of the young men they've grown into.
Right.
But this is going to sound so self-centered, but as a single parent, I should be proud of me. And that's what I learned. I embrace every change that comes to me because everything happens for a reason. And I'm a great believer in that. Yes, we psychics, but we can't tell our own future.
Right.
So, as strange as this sounds, I like to see where the universe takes me. And I follow that path.
Mm-hmm.
But for every change I've gone through in life, I am so grateful for. Good or bad, it's made me the person I am now.
Right. And I think that it does, but I think that it's a big change. All right, and I think it's a big change for going from native adult that isn't a parent to a single mom or a single dad or even a together parent. And then going from that to a parent of teenagers when it's like, oh, I don't have to wipe off your skin knee. I get to laugh at you now. To, a parent of adult children. To a grandmother
Yeah.
Those ranges are so different.
Yeah.
Like now you can pump Parker up on sugar and sweets and all this hyperish stuff you ever want, and just hand him back to mama and go, I hope he has a good day with you.
Revenge is going to be sweet.
Right. Compared to when you were raising his daddy, you were like, you can't have sugar. You're going to be bouncing off the walls. We ain't having this shit.
When I was raising his daddy, now not for everybody to think I've had it easy, he went through a real rough patch.
Mm-hmm.
And one day the police officer knocked the door and said, I think I've just seen Curtis on CCTV stealing a crate of beer.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, right, okay. She said, what do you want me to do? I said, arrest him, throw him in the cells.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he stayed for 24 hours.
He didn't get to enjoy that beer.
But it's all about learning as well.
Right. You know, those are common things.
Yeah. Because I know we're talking about changes, but so many parents these days feel that they failed if their children get into trouble.
No, that means you're doing it right.
Yeah. Getting into trouble, I think, is a part of growing up. It's learning boundaries, learning, oh shit, what am I going to get for doing this?
Right.
And I think that's an important part, not just for us as parents, but for the kids that's doing it.
Right. Now, let's take it from your perspective now. She comes up and knocks on the door, and Parker's like, I don't know, 11, or the same age as his daddy was. What's your response?
I would do the same. Yeah.
You wouldn't even call his mama and go, what do you think?
No.
Yeah.
Because this is going to sound stupid. At that age, if you let them get away with it, when they're older, they're going to be robbing cars and old people.
Right. Very much.
And that's, you've got to nip things in the bud before they go any further.
Well, you do. It's just, and this is the difference, I think, for me being not a parent, just a visual observer or a caregiver of a child versus the parent. Like, I have cinder blocks in my backyard for a reason. It's when I need to babysit, and the children are going, I'm so bored. There are cinder blocks in the backyard. I need to move from one side of the yard to the other.
Yeah.
So the lawn man can cut that bush down there. Can you go ahead and do that for me? But that was what my grandmother did. I never told her I was bored because she would find things for me to do.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what it's about. It's not just, you're not just bringing up a child. You're not just living life. Even at our age, every day we are learning new skills.
Well, we are, but we're also, for me, parents make such big shit out of stuff nowadays, and I am like, please.
Yeah.
Did they knock off a convenience store? Well, no, they just went out and got drunk last night. Are you mad you weren't there? Well, yeah, kind of. Great. They got a hangover this morning? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Cook them bacon and eggs and toast and slam those doors and, go through all this. And then, you know what? Next Friday night, you put it on with them.
Yeah.
Why? Because they won't want to do it again. When we start making this, oh my God, this big old world stuff going on, when it's nothing minor, it's crap you done.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing, but you learned from that.
Right.
Can you put up Brenda's comment for our viewers? And that's the thing. If my two came home and they were slaughtered, I left them. If they were sick, they cleaned it up. That's not part of my job. My job was bringing them up. I done that. They go do the adulting bits themselves.
Exactly. But, and the kids that I had a hand in raising, they're about the same way because they've now got kids of their own. One of them just turned 16. Yes, I feel old. And she's the same as me. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it with me. Yeah. We're going to be right there, getting knackered together, playing the bullshit games. And it has nothing to do with, oh my God, you're just enabling them. No. My niece, if she wants to get plastered, sorry guys, I'm going to be off network for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show her how to do it. I'm going to show her what to drink. You do wine before beer. You do clear before dark. Why? Because we're going to do it right. That way I know she ain't getting some of this backyard moonshine.
Yes.
It ran through her car radiator.
Yeah.
And she loses her damn mind.
Even as old as the boys are now, like with Curtis, because he don't live here, when he goes out, I make him phone me before he goes. Mm-hmm. And I make him phone me when he's in.
Mm-hmm.
And that way I know he's safe. A few weeks ago, he phoned me on his way home from work. And he said, Mum, I'm going to pop in to get Parker's nappy. So I said, yeah, okay. And one of his friends went, oh, look at Curtis talking to his mummy. Why don't you shut your mouth, you little knob jockey? I'm his mother. I'm the one that brought him up. What's your issue? Curtis went, Mum. And I was like, no. I said, I'm not having your friends talking to me like that.
Exactly. All right, guys, we got to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Love diving into metaphysical topics, psychic insights, and lively discussions? Now you can help keep the conversation going. By becoming a Patreon supporter of The Psychic Coffee Shop, you'll gain access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and special perks just for our patrons. Join our community and ensure that your favorite psychic show continues to thrive. Your support helps us bring more enlightening episodes, special guests, and deep dives into the world of the unseen. Become a patron today and enjoy a cup of wisdom with us every week. Click the link to join the baristas and unlock exclusive content. Thank you for your support.
Unlock your full potential with Aeson Knight's life coaching. Are you ready to take control of your life and manifest the future you deserve? Aeson Knight, a seasoned life coach and master psychic, is here to guide you on a transformative journey. Whether you're navigating personal challenges, career transitions, or seeking spiritual growth, Aeson's life coaching services offer tailored guidance to help you achieve your goals. With Aeson by your side, you'll discover the tools to overcome obstacles, embrace your true self, and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. His unique blend of spiritual insight and practical coaching empowers you to turn your dreams into reality. Ready to make a change? Book your session today and start your journey to a more empowered, balanced, and joyful life with Aeson Knight. Click the link to schedule your first session and step into your power.
Are you ready for an electrifying podcast experience that keeps you coming back for more? Join Aeson Knight every week as he takes you on a journey through captivating shows, each exploring unique and fascinating topics. And here's the best part. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode where you can get your burning questions answered live on air, absolutely free. Whether it's relationship advice, career guidance, or mystical insights, Aeson's podcasts have got you covered. When you subscribe, you become part of a vibrant community, engaging directly with Aeson as he shares his wisdom and leaves you feeling empowered and enlightened. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation. What you'll get by subscribing: Monday 5 p.m. Metaphysics Today, Soulful Conversations with Aeson and Fire Fly, exploring the essence of metaphysics in today's world. Tuesday 8 p.m. The Psychic Coffee Shop, dive into current events with a psychic twist, featuring special guests and thought-provoking discussions. Friday 9 p.m. The Mountain Bears Podcast, lively discussions from a gayish, techie-ish, bearish perspective with Aeson and Joe. Sunday 5 p.m., Psychic That Plans. Get a weekly tarot energy overview and time management tips from Aeson Knight. Click here to subscribe now and never miss an episode. By subscribing, you're not just tuning in, you're joining a community of curious minds and ensuring you're always in the loop with Aeson's insightful and interactive shows. Don't wait. Hit that subscribe button and get ready for an amazing podcast journey.
Ready for an enchanting journey of self-discovery? Join Lord Aeson Knight in our Wicca courses. Unveil the secrets of Wicca. explore deity relationships, rituals, and more. As a third-degree high priest, Aeson Knight guides you toward empowerment and enlightenment. Enroll today and take your first step into the magical circle. Click the link to begin your journey.
Psychic Saturday. Get 50% off with Aeson Knight every third Saturday of the month. Don't miss out. Book now.
All right. And we're back. And I want to talk about something because sometimes it gets a little shocking. Like when, I can remember the first time a dude called me a daddy. I about lost it. I was like, boy, I am too young to be a daddy. And he's like, no, you said you're in your late 30s. You're a daddy. And I'm like, fair. Now it's like, oh, sugar, please. What do you want, boy?
Now this is going to be interesting. What's the average age with your I'm going to say area because I know you're in Texas, right, for childbearing?
18, 19.
We should Google it. Come on, let's Google it.
Okay. Hello, Professor Google. Okay, they're giving it a little older. They're saying the average age is 20.
It's 30 in the UK.
Yeah.
Because over here, I think people go for their careers first.
Mm-hmm.
As strange as that sounds.
No, not really. I mean, theoretically, they really should have their career together.
Yeah.
Theoretically. Now, granted, you got to understand, West Virginia is about 20 years away from the normal population.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It takes us a little while to get things together. So, we are the 8th youngest new mothers on average in our country. Meaning there is 8 other states that are younger.
Yeah.
That have a younger average age than 20. I'm scared for those mothers. Like, how old were you?
I was 21.
Okay. Can you imagine being 15, 14?
No.
See, and 200 years ago, we wouldn't even bat an eye on that.
No. I think my mum was 19 when she had me. Mm-hmm. But then, 9.5 months later, she had my sister.
Mm-hmm.
But I think things were totally different then.
Right. I think they were. I also think that life was moving faster then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Not the age of life, the cycle of life.
Yes.
Moving much faster.
Yeah. People were buying houses at a younger age.
Because they just inherit the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know families that you turn 21, you get grandma's house. You turn 18, you get, Aunt Velma's house because she's moving away.
Yeah.
So they were already pre-set up with that. Whereas today it's like, no, Aunt Velma's still living in her house. How dare you want to move in?
Yeah. And it's not just that. I think because of how the economy is now, mm-hmm. even if you were to give somebody a trust fund, mm-hmm. they still couldn't go out and buy a property outright. Mm.
Now, when I bought this house, it was $17,000, and that was going right for houses.
Yeah.
The average where we live is $167,862 for a medium-sized house. Now, this isn't a starter home. Of course, they don't have for starter homes. I would say probably about 120. Is what this is the average for a starter home. Whereas the UK is £284,691.
Yeah. Our younger generation have got no, how can I put this? They got no hope of getting on the property ladder.
Not outright. Not anymore.
No.
That's $374,288 US.
Yeah.
For a home outright.
And when you look at it, what they're asking for is £250,000, really.
Yeah.
No young couple can earn that money.
I don't know. What's the average income?
Curtis and Larissa are buying their house.
Mm-hmm.
But they were lucky because she had a trust fund, I believe, and Curtis had money saved. But without that, they've said they could never have bought a home.
Mm-hmm. Well, the average income is $34,096.63. All right, and your house is supposed to be twice the yearly income. So no, they can't. Like no. It is 1 year's worth of income is your down payment.
Yeah. And that's what the uproar is over here at the moment, that young people cannot get on the property ladder.
No. And that's even with, like, if, example, you still own, you owned your house and you've got another house you've got your mom's house or your grandmom's house, and it's like, well, you get this one. That can't even happen anymore because there's none left.
No.
And that's something I think is different here in the U.S. is there's a lot of, like, I live in the house that my parents moved into when I was 17.
Yeah.
Even though I bought the house when I was 17, but before that, we lived in Granddad's house.
Yeah. And that's what we're finding over here a lot now. Because of the housing situation, more generations are living in the same property.
Yeah.
It's like going back to the olden days where that was the case then.
Right. And, and that was the case then. That still is the case here. It's very often here. You will have like the widow grandmother living with the son or daughter, raising the grandkids. But we have to do that in this area, not because of income.
Because there's a shortage of houses.
No, because of the amount of work we do.
Yeah.
I mean, you put it together. Okay, let's say a family has 2 kids. They've got to have 2 jobs. I'll guarantee you in West Virginia, one of those jobs is in healthcare.
Yeah.
Or mining. If you got the tag team together, they're putting out 16 and 16.
32.
32 hours a day between the 2 of them at work on average. Someone's got to raise those kids, and a lot of times that gets passed down to the grandma, which was my case. But at the same time, how else are they going to pay their bills? With the skyrocketing healthcare for the grandma, the skyrocketing healthcare for the children, even if they've got insurance.
You've still got to pay for that insurance to get it.
Well, you've got to pay for the insurance, and then you have your copays. Then you have your medication cost here.
Yeah.
So, it's half of one. It's half of one 6 of another.
Yeah.
On, comparatively. And I think this is something that, I don't think either culture sees.
No.
Personally, even though I own my home, because I've thought of selling this place 100 times, and moving somewhere else, I would rather not be writing the checks for moms and one of my husbands. Let's just go typical one of my husbands, healthcare. Not only the insurance, but everything else that goes with it, the co-pays and the prescription meds and, this, that, and another. I swear I'm writing more checks than to own my home.
Yeah.
I would trade it in a heartbeat.
And that's the thing as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Younger people, they think they can have it all until they look at what needs to be paid.
Right.
When you own a vehicle, you got to have money in a backup. If something goes wrong, you need that fixed.
Well, if you get a vehicle in the U.S., you've got a car payment, you got car insurance, you have gas and all these other expenses that are way more than what they used to be. Then you go into the home, either renting it or owning it. There's always upkeep, and I don't care if you're renting home, you still got upkeep.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to like the wall color. You're going to have to figure out a way to do that. Yeah, it's nice to call the landlord and go, come fix my plumbing. But then you've got the added expense that the plumber's there for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny. Curtis and Narissa got the same boiler as us.
Mm-hmm.
So when they moved in, they phoned me and Curtis went, Mum, the boiler's broke. Mm-hmm. I said, what's the matter? He said, I don't know, it's flashing all these numbers. So I said, all right, I'll come round. Because they're only like 5 minutes up the road.
Right.
So I drives round, walks upstairs, and I fixed the boiler. He said, what have you done? I said, just put pressure in there. I said, you learn all these things over time. I said, 'cause they're things that you will get used to.
Right. But, in the U.S., you're blessed that he's 5 minutes away.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because, this is West Virginia. Most kids, I tell them point blank, get your education and get the hell out.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing here.
No. And isn't that sad? It's dying. The area where you live is literally dying in front of you.
Mm-hmm. There are many towns in West Virginia, and Brenda can attest to this, that you will drive through, and one of the places that I go hiking, 8 people live there.
See, and that's so sad because they could be thriving.
Yeah. They could be thriving, but they came in, the town was built on mining, and when the mines died, they had to move on.
Yeah.
The only ones were left were the ones that could not afford to get out.
Yeah. Or the ones which were too old and didn't want to move.
Exactly.
And you probably find that's the majority of the 8 people that's left.
They are normally ones that either don't want to move, the 8 there don't want to move, and they've been pulling together. Yeah.
But isn't that sad?
Yeah.
And again, that's another massive change in a life cycle.
It is. It is. It's a major life change when you look around and nothing's left.
Yeah.
Except for the Dollar General and the fix-it signs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, we have the Department of Natural Resources or National Forestry moving in and buying everything up because someone has to own the land and return it to nature.
But the thing is, by doing that, I can't help but think then you're trying to push the residents out.
You are. You are pushing the residents out. You are moving to where there isn't anything left.
Yeah. Because if they'd done something with that ground, they could encourage people to come back in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to address this comment. Dollar Generals and gambling machine places, laugh out loud, used to be churches and bars. The churches are still there. Heck, I was on the hike and I discovered a church that literally there's no way to get to it except that path. The gambling casinos really should be called elder care, and this is how they can get financial aid from the government. Elder care daycare.
Yeah.
In Dollar Generals, I swear, should be renamed the West Virginia Flower, because everywhere you turn, there's at least one. In my little town, there are two, and they're looking at opening a third.
But if there's nobody there, they're not going to make the money to keep the shops open.
Exactly.
It just,
It makes no sense to me. And then, or you have the trade-off. Like, I know one gentleman who lives in one of the, we will call them wasteland towns. He drives an hour and a half to work a day. And an hour and a half back. But he owns his land. His land was owned by his grandfather, and they don't have a mortgage. They don't have taxes. And he says point blank, who's going to buy it?
Yeah. We've got a big thing over here at the moment with property developers.
Mm-hmm.
There's new houses springing up everywhere. But I'm really, perhaps it's just in my mind, I live in a local authority house.
Mm-hmm.
I would never, ever entertain buying a new build property.
Understandable, because you don't know, what are you going to do? Because local authority means they have to fix it.
Yeah. But with a new build as well, they are going up so quick. I ask myself why and how.
Right. Well, here we have a lot of modular homes that are built in a factory, and you can literally drop it on a foundation. Is that what they're doing, or are they doing the steel apartment buildings?
They're doing, it's hard to explain. They brick halfway up,
mm-hmm.
and then they put wood on the top.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's gorgeous. It's got a split level.
Yeah, that's what my house is like as well.
Yeah.
But then, because I could buy this house, but
mm-hmm.
I couldn't get a mortgage on it
mm-hmm.
because it's classed as a substandard property.
Yeah, it's not up to current code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's insane. So what are you doing this week?
I'm doing my normal hours this week, which is from around 9 till midnight on Life Reader. For Tunica, I normally come off about 9.
Yeah.
Because I like to start winding down about then.
Right.
But I'll have my break in the afternoon, as I always do. But apart from that, I'm working.
And I'm on and I found out what time zone I'm in currently. I'm on my Australian calendar, meaning for the U.S. customers and your British customers, it's during the night.
Yes. But we should have some exciting news for our viewers October, November time.
I'm hoping, or December.
Yeah. So keep your eyes peeled, guys, because it's exciting.
We have a lot of projects in the air. We do. All right, y'all. With that, I do want to remind everyone that if either one of us are not on call and you want to get with us, you can arrange a call. You got to notify me, hop in line, arrange a call. Every platform has the thing. Now, we had a comment, and I wanted to explain what they need to do this. They wanted to coach with me. If you want to coach with me, you will go into make a call, schedule an appointment, and you'll see Discovery Call. Click the Discovery Call, and we'll see if we mesh.
Yeah.
And
as advisors, we always do our best to work with the client's time zones, so that's not an issue at all.
Right. My appointment thing adjusts immediately to your time zone.
Yeah.
And it'll show you my availability in your time zone. And yes, sometimes it's wacky hours to your time zone. my Thai clients, they have to book. All appointments have to be 24 hours in advance unless you order a rush order. But some of them get up at 2 a.m. to have their appointment with me.
Yeah.
Because of that. But as I was leading in there, is if you want a coaching appointment with me, you need to go to the coaching section and click Discovery. The Discovery call is where we sit down, we compare, like, this is what my program does. Is this the goals you want to accomplish? Because, like psychics, coaching's different. It's not a psychic reading. It's a coaching session.
Yeah.
And there's homework and other work and, some soul searching to go on.
The good thing about those courses is you learn so much about yourself. You learn so many coping strategies because it's about you, and the coaching session will help you no end.
Right. Because it's giving you life tools.
Yes.
And it's there's 6 modules, but that doesn't mean that we have to go through a module each month or anything like that. We move at your pace.
Yeah. And so many people say, I didn't understand that. Bloody ask. If you don't understand something, ask.
Exactly.
We don't bite. We don't shout and scream.
I don't
sometimes.
I do bite.
But never be afraid of asking for any help or if you don't understand something.
Right. Now, let's cover our baristas. Now, our baristas are a different vein. Our baristas support the podcast. They get special things. They get special articles. They get to sit down with me, and we have a conversation. They also get private content. And, we have go to the website. Go to, pcspnetwork.com and click baristas. But anyway, so thank you, Beverly Walker, Mika G, Brenda, Joan Owen, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Caitlin Bell, Dalvin, and Maria Myers. Yes, it costs extra for me to bite.
Well, if he bites me, he'll have to have a rabies jab.
I already have that. All right, guys. You guys have a great evening. I will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. and Miss Hayes will be back with me next week.
I will. She'll speak to you all then.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.